Alright, so today is July 18th, 2016. We are getting rolling here. Get right into these questions. Alright, I have a little footprint question. When I have 20 PBNs linking only to my money site, is a footprint if I choose two or three of them to link to one client site? Two or three. I don't know what you mean. I mean, anytime I link, I have multiple authority links with them. So I don't know if you're saying you just link to your money site and nothing else. I don't know what you mean by choose two or three. However you're doing it, I would add in, a good amount of outbound authority links. I do that for many reasons, footprints being one of them. Oops. Am I right with this? If a new client has an established business, the social profile is already created, all I have to do is the on page and hit it with PBNs until it's number one. I mean, it depends on how much work they have. I usually run it through Ahrefs, and I'll see, what type of links they have, and then take it from there. We know where they're currently ranking, what niche it's in, and you can take it from there. What's up, Rotom? My client moved from HTTP to HTTPS. It doesn't look like my client's webmaster doesn't know how to do it right. It's an important client. I want to give him the right solution. Can I PM you and where? Yeah, you can PM me. What's up, Elizabeth? What's up, Chris? I was trying to build reverse sync or swim links with separate blog posts in my PBNs. For some reason, these blog posts are not being indexed. I try to put authority links to YouTube and even paid tool. Nothing could index them, although these PBNs are indexed 4 months ago when I initially built them. Would you please recommend a method to get them indexed? I use Google's free indexing tool as well. I thought all these steps. Um, there could have been something wrong with the site, Starmender. They could just be. I mean, indexing can be very slow. A few months is pretty slow, though. Yeah, 4 months, it might be some other type of problem, but there might be some other type of problem with the site that you're just not seeing. I mean, it should be indexed within 4 months for sure. It might just be lower quality sites. I'm about to close the deal with my first client. They want me to write a proposal. When I met with clients last week, they said they want to rank for business brokers, which would be a national term. They have the keyword business broker, no S at the end. On the home page, so I still create an inner page with the keyword business brokers and the URLs that follows reverse sync or swim. There are a lot of authority sites in the UK for that term with business brokers and the URL, and they want page one for the number one ranking. They say they don't have many social property citations for their homepage. If I create an inner page and create all the social citations from scratch, um, business broker, that's probably going to be a pretty competitive term. I just want to take someone in the middle of the first page and just see what type of links they're ranking with. So they have like 1,000 referring domains. Pretty powerful. And then they actually kind of branded themselves around business brokers like their brand name plus. And I always tell people to do this. This is why. They got brand name plus keyword, which can work very well. I'll also do stuff like URL dash name of keyword. But yeah, they've done that. They have a lot of links with that in it. um, this is actually going to be, they got a lot like this. Again, same type of thing that we do with our anchor text. So, I mean, that's going to be a pretty tough term to rank. Not saying you can't do it, but Just make sure the client knows it's going to take a while. That's what I would be most concerned with. As far as creating an inner page, you don't have to. Um, I know I was looking at US and you're in UK. I just want to see what the UK shows. I mean, it's going to be somewhat similar. Yeah, like these are the only guys ranking without it in the URL. You notice most people actually have it in the domain because remember, domain is way more powerful than inner URL. The only one ranking on the inner URL is Wikipedia, but of course their domain strength is so high that that's why that inner URL is giving them so much. But it worries me that the whole first page is basically sites with it in their domain somewhere. And then the last one is, of course, Inc.com, which is, again, huge domain with an inner URL. But these are the only guys without it, and they're actually number 3, so we can see what they're doing. And this is kind of how I determine, so this isn't just for Rajdeep, but this is for everyone. If you're determining how hard something going to be, is kind of what I take it through, like the process. So they only have 47 referring domains, so it looks like UK may be a little easier. Business solutions, business brokers. Again, I always tell you guys to do stuff like this, keyword dash other words, business brokers, a lot of business type stuff. The broker business, but they're still like splitting up their keywords. And then, of course, selling, business selling, which is kind of like LSI in this market, I'm guessing. So they did a really good job with their anchor text, and they probably have a lot of relevant links. See, again, this is reverse sink or swim, guys. Look, business brokers in the URL from this link, brokers in the title, and that can do a lot for you. So this is just one of the first links we're seeing. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but you can also go through these guys' links because they don't have it in their domain, and see if you can get links from, see if you go here, open it up, and see if you can get a link there somehow as well. And looks like you actually probably could. You could add a business in here. It might cost a little bit of money, but it would probably be worth it, especially because you got business brokers in the URL and then the title. But I would, again, business transfer agents, which is kind of like LSI, so that's more sink or swim there, reverse sink or swim. Business brokers, again, reverse sink or swim. Business brokers. So you can probably actually get a link in here too, because that's a directory. A lot of people don't like directories, but if you're doing a high quality directory as far as reverse sink or swim goes, relevance, that's very good. So, no, you don't need it in your URL. It looks like these guys are number 3 without it, but you're gonna have to do a really good job with your anchor text and get reverse sink or swim style links in there, and just let the client know it's going to be a process. Now, you might want to also tell them to optimize for longer tail keywords first, so you can get those ranking, and then, for example, like instead of business broker, best business broker in UK or something like that, where you can rank them for that pretty quick, and then that will also help rank for business broker, the shorter version. So as they're happy that you got long tails coming up, you can bring up that shorter tail naturally. So hopefully that helps. I've seen some exact match domains with anchor text ratio as high as 25%. They're ranking very well. Would you suggest using anchor text ratios that high? If you have an established site, Jeremy, that's already on page 1, then yes, you can usually do that. All right, there's different rules for sites once they're trusted and they get on the first page and all that. But if you're a brand new site, no, absolutely do not do that. You got to build up your trust first. I recently dropped from number 2 to 12 suddenly for my main keyword rankings. For all other main keywords have dropped. I look into Command Center, I see a bunch of new spammy anchors and links. I haven't built any links except one Tumblr account. It's one trying to hurt me. If so, what do I do? I haven't come across that in any training yet. I would have to see the links, but likely you are getting negative SEO. And if you're dropping, I usually don't But once I start dropping, I may try disavowing those new links, and that might be able to bring you back up. Working on a site that has a silo of services, when I'm on these posts, I'm not able to get any meta descriptions to do, or does meta descriptions get pulled from the home page? Or there's something I don't know or not seeing. You should be able to put meta descriptions in there, Elizabeth. Install Yoast or all in one, and you should be able to fill in the metadata for each page. I put webmesh tools on one of my PVNs, and it states that I have a robot.txt error. Could this be due to bot nemesis being installed and blocking bot? It shouldn't be, because that doesn't block the Google bot, and that just blocks like other spiders. So it shouldn't be because of that. When I need to analyze the client site, what is the best way to start? I only have OMG Command Center to work with. Same thing I just did, Irene. I mean, OMG Command Center, all these same tools. Throw them through Ahrefs, analyze their on-site. Do they have keywords in the title, in URL, if possible? That would just be a benefit. They have them on the page. Have they built links with it in their anchor text? Are they getting links from sites that have their keyword in the title and URL type stuff? Or in the domain, that's reverse sink or swim, which is very powerful. So just all that type of stuff to see kind of where they're at, and then of course where they're ranking currently, and take it from there. I'm seeing a lot of auction domains majestic with metrics like this in the fresh index, but this in the historic. What are your thoughts? Do you prefer using fresh or historic? I usually just use fresh, but if you're going to use historic and there's a big difference, or if you're going to use both and there's a big difference, you may want to go back to the Wayback Machine, see if there's anything funky going on. Also, something like this with historic, it depends how far back that goes. I never really looked into that, but if that's from like a few years ago, they might have built their trust up over the last couple of years. You know what I mean? So I worry more about the fresh index nowadays, but I always go for sites with quality links. So if you're going for like shoddy type sites that have like questionable links, there could be something going on there. So just be careful with that. As long as they're it's a natural link portfolio, natural link anchor text, stuff like that. So for example, if it's a site that's obviously about fishing, and a lot of the links are from fishing type places, that's very natural, right? And then, of course, it has a lot of brand anchor text. That's even more natural. If there's a big difference in a site like that, I wouldn't even worry. They'd probably just build up that trust over time. But if there's a lot of like questionable links, like we've gone over this before, where like it's from like all home pages and they're all like have like similar titles and stuff like that, then yeah, be very careful with that. I'm seeing expired domains on GoDaddy auctions that have trust flow 0, but when you look at the backlinks, they have high TF and CF. Why would expired domain show 0 TF? And how powerful this domain has great backlinks? Again, that is why metrics aren't everything. You can kind of use that to your advantage, where people aren't really, people see that 0 trust flow and totally skip over it, where there might be gold there. You know what I mean? You just got to be able to look at the whole picture and just know that trust flow is just a number. And also a lot of times when you put in the site, sometimes, so if you put in like, I don't know, if you put in a site like this, it will show a totally different number than if you put it in with www in there. So just be careful of that. Or if you have like HTTP, now this is similar. Just be aware of that. But yeah, sometimes there is like a whole lot of verse. See how that's like totally different, kind of? It's only 2 instead of 7, 25 instead of 36, so it can differ from what you put in here. So again, those are just numbers. Because I don't like how they do that. Because it all pretty much redirects to the same place nowadays. It's not a big deal to me if I www or not, because it redirects anyways. Google kind of treats that differently nowadays, in my opinion. So you can kind of use that to your advantage, and if they have quality links and the trust flow 0, you might have found a little, it's just something going on with Majestic that they're not getting right. So I'll leave it at that. If everything else is matching, it might be worth it. When you get a hosting provider for a new PBN, do you sign up for the single domain price or the unlimited? I can't think of any reason why you want to put two PBNs on the same hosting account. No, actually, if you go through the hosting section, then you'll understand why you would do that. So if I get a HostGator, right? If I get an account on HostGator or anywhere, okay, and I put on 3 PBNs, that's fine. It's just that, once you link to Money Site 1, you're not going to link to Money Site 1 again on this host. So PBN 2 and 3 can't do Money Site 1. But you can use PBN 2 and 3 for any other site, as long as it's not on the same server as this one or same IP. And we go over that in the hosting section. I actually have accounts like this with like 30 PBNs on them. I'm paying $8 a month. I got 30 PBNs, and it's fine because I'm not linking to any of the same sites on the same server, same IP on this account. Okay. So once I link to Money Site 1, if I have 30 other PBNs here, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with this, having this many PBNs. It's just this Money Site is now done for this host. It can't be linked here. It can't be linked here, here, here. It can't be linked on any of this. Okay, it's done. This site is done for this host. And that's why I keep the spreadsheets like I do. I mark down, okay, Money Site 1, it linked from this site. This site is on HostGator. Then I always do a double check where, okay, well, this site, when I'm going to link to this site again, it's already got a link from a HostGator, from my HostGator account, or HostGator 1, because I have multiple HostGator accounts. It already has a link from HostGator 1, so I can't use that network, okay? I got to go to a different host or a different HostGator account that's on a different IP. Is it more beneficial having links coming from my social properties in my SEO site, or would it be as good to have an automatic social submitter like Social Network's auto poster? I don't really work with those tools too much, Larry. It's not going to really do too much for you. In my opinion, honestly, guys, social doesn't do like posting on social doesn't do a ton. Now, if you're going to rank a social property, you want content on there, obviously, you want your keywords on there, but it also depends on the project. Posting on social can do a ton for you if you have a lot of followers and you put a lot of time into it and you're getting traffic from it, okay? But for a lot of us, the way we treat social, we're just kind of get links and like that, and we're not really using it to build a following. In that case, posting on social isn't going to do anything for you, all right? So all these auto posters, for most cases, they're not going to help you. For most cases, we're kind of just using social to build make us look natural, get some social links in there, some trust, again, look natural. But I just want to be clear, there is cases where posting on social can be very beneficial, but that's different. You have to be treating your socials and giving them, you got to be getting followers, got to be paying attention. In that case, I wouldn't even use auto, because if I'm getting my socials that much attention, I'm going to manually post to them most of the time. I'm sure there are ways you can set up to have it automatic, like IFTTT, where you want to post all your socials. But the point I'm trying to make is, for most of us, posting on our social is not going to help us, unless you're treating it like as part of your business, kind of like what Cotton's going to be teaching in Opus. In that case, yes, posting to social is going to help you a lot, because you're going to have a following. People are going to see what you're posting, and people are going to be interested in what you're posting, and they can actually go to those links and share it, and links can be made from that. So it's two totally different things on how you can treat social. Once we do our dummy post and the site passes the dummy check, should we delete the dummy post? I don't know. I just leave it up usually, to be honest. How do you know when you need to get more aggressive with your anchor text to rank? My competitors are on the first page and ranking well, but have a ton of geo and exact partial anchors. For example, Sabai SEO is an example of view and Ahrefs. Yeah, again, any site that's on the first page is going to be able to get away with a lot more. Whoops, put this in the wrong one. And again, when these changes were made in Google, where they kind of lowered the anchor text, the people who were already on the first page, whenever this change happened like a year and a half ago, they kind of got grandfathered in. So it, San Diego, yes, they got what? That's actually not even that high. I mean, 11% of the referring domains have it. That's not that high. I've actually seen sites with like 40. Because really, they don't have San Diego in here, like SEO in here a ton. And they got a lot of other stuff, like general. Always tell you guys to do mix in stuff like this. That's big. Again, just the general name. They got a lot of brand in there still. So, I mean, they probably just built it. They built up their trust over time. They worked it in the right way, and they didn't hit it hard at first, likely, or they got grandfathered in. I'm going to set up all my VPNs here on one hosting account. Good idea is telling me if I create multiple accounts close together. Some may have the same IP and servers. They're just avoiding the same IPs, right? I prefer them to be on different servers, different IPs, Justin. And I'm not technical, but I think if it's on the same server, it should have the same IP. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not technical, so I don't know. But I usually do try to get different servers. That way I know for sure that it's going to be different. You know, the IP is going to be different. There's not going to be a footprint. I have a client, lawdefense.com, wants to go after immigration lawyer San Diego. The previous SEO company made a few exact match links to his homepage that were low quality. Wondering if you can recommend I start fresh and try to rank an inner page instead. It depends on where he's ranked and when the links were built and what other type of links he has. Um, he's got 52 domains, 40 in the live index. So it depends on where he's ranked and how old his site is and all that. So again, here this can be like kind of like another analyzation example. So the site's old. That doesn't tell us when these links were created. Oops. So I'm not seeing him on the first 3 pages unless I missed him. He might need more relevance in his links, you know, reverse sink or swim style. And his links actually look pretty good as far as relevance goes. Get back to his anchor. Again, it really depends on when these links were built, because you know, links can take a while to kick in. And I would need to see a report of like you can message me if you want, whoever asked this, and I would need a report of like his movement over the past few months and when those links were built and all that, and that would help me, you know, determine what's going on there. Of course, I didn't even analyze his own page either. Which metric do you use to use a Majestic Fresh? So I just focus more on Fresh. Leave it there. Where is the link to your latest algorithm video or sink or swim video where you noted the links in Ahrefs that had the URLs that matches the keyword phrase of your money site? That should be in the simulation webinar with Cotton. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. Yeah, my screen's showing. You scared me there for a second, Irene. If you're trying to rank an EMD for an affiliate site, will it rank for the same if the EMD is reversed? For example, greenblue.com is the EMD ranking for keywords green blue, and the domain I have is blue green. I will rank the same, but it will still give you a lot of credit for those, Matthew. So it can really help you. I actually have an affiliate term where the number 2 ranked site is actually the name of the product backwards, because there's 2 products. One is the name backwards, one's the name regular, and they're actually 2 competing products for like the same thing. So it does work both ways, and I have done that. I'll even do like I've done like reviewproduct.com when productreview.com is going, and that works. I actually have one that just hit the first page a few days ago. Starting to make sales. So, why would you convert a Weebly to a WordPress? Just easier editing and all that, probably. I mean, WordPress is just so easy to work with. Plugins and just point and click, just so simple. All right, how's it going for you with the PBNs to show the rural text? I haven't even checked that yet, Peter. So I'll have to go back and see if any of those PBNs are up yet and see how they're doing. I haven't even checked it yet, though. I understand Moz is a tool that is not very accurate at this point. How can we use this metric to better understand a PBN's power? Like, would a low PA and DA of a decent TF mean? I wouldn't. Again, that's why you got to look at the whole picture. I mean, PA and DA can tell you a lot. I mean, high DA, high PA means it's probably a good site or it's a really bad site. And so, for example, if someone has, a DA, PA 50 with like 100 referring domains, I just know from experience that that's going to probably be a very good site, like in Open Site Explorer. But if it has DA, PA 50 and it has like 1,000 referring domains, it's probably very low quality. It's probably just been built up with spam. So you always got to look at the whole picture where, you get all the numbers and you look at the anchor text, is it natural anchor text? Are the links natural? Do they fit what the domain used to be about? Stuff like that. You just have to kind of bring it all together with that. You can't go off one metric because it can all be manipulated. Is there a way to see PBN links from competitors even if they are using bot nemesis or other blocker? I mean, if you find a link analyzer that they don't block, then yeah. I set up a few PBNs on host, but I want to be certain I'm not leaving any footprints. The Whois checks out, and the DS report shows none of my personal info. However, there are sections in the report that are color-coded yellow and red. Recursive queries and SOA expire. What does that mean? Don't worry about the SOA records and all that, David. Since we don't use SEO host, you don't got to worry about that anymore. When is it safe to start sending PBNs to a website? When you're comfortable with footprints. You can start sending PBNs to a website right away if you're comfortable. I still, for important sites, like to build up the trust first, even myself. But I do have a lot of affiliate sites that I don't care if I blow them up. I mean, I'll just move the content over to a new domain and start over if that happens. Whereas, if it's a client site and it's their brand name, if you ruin their domain, it can be hard to fix. So 2 totally different situations. If I'm working with a client, I do as much as I can before I start sending PBNs directly, and I might even not have to. But if it's an affiliate site, I'll send them right away. It doesn't matter. Again, I'll just get a new domain. How do you like social together, and how do you link them back to your money site? How do you like socials together? You mean link? I don't. Man, I do it just like Sean and I was to the SEO over the shoulder series. What's up, Chris? If we have a PBN as a primary domain on a hosting account and is blacklisted, can that affect our other PBN money sites on the account? I haven't had that problem, Chris. Is Grammarly worth the money, or can we use free plagiarism checkers? For me, for Grammarly, I use it for grammar. So just set proper sentence structure. I'll order an article, I'll throw it in Copyscape, make sure that it's not plagiarized, 5 cents for each run. Then I'll throw it in Grammarly just to tidy up my grammar, because 2 things that Google can detect are, plagiarism, of course, because that can be detected by a computer, and then just incorrect grammar. You can have an absolutely horribly written article, but if it makes sense if the English makes sense and the sentence structure is correct, Google has no idea it's a low quality article. A computer can't read an article and say, oh, this is a bad or good article. They just know if it has, punctuation errors or spelling errors or sentence structure errors that they can detect, because they can program for that. They can't program for a computer to tell, real quality. Of course, real quality can be determined by, people liking it and sharing it and linking to it and stuff like that. But at its core, they can't determine that. So I just use it for, basic grammar touch-ups. How often can we send PBNs to a new money site that just got indexed in Google? I mean, really as much as you want, to be honest. But I usually, I don't take it overboard usually. If I have a place that I want to rank quick, I might send a bunch at once. But what's up, Elise? I thought maybe footprints. No. When you buy auction domains for PBNs and decide not to use them, they're sitting in your GoDaddy account with your contact information on them. Is there anything risky about this, even if you intend not to use them? Nash, you should be fine doing that. May seem like a strange question, but in terms of understanding over-optimization, can one put too many logos on a website and over-optimize? In other words, I have a log like Cottons with a symbol and then the name spelled out. If I put it on the main page more than once, is that over-optimized? Nah, I wouldn't worry about that, James. The client has spam links with anchors like Viagra for sale, but is ranking on the first page for their keywords. Is it worth disavowing? No, I would leave them. Google's gotten very good at detecting, negative SEO and stuff like that, especially for sites on the first page, because it's gotten smarter with it. So unless it starts falling, then I wouldn't do anything with it. That's just me. Which version of the domain would you use for a PBN? One has a higher TF, but the other shows more backlinks. For example, juveniledata.com versus juveniledata.com with the www. I mean, again, I don't think it matters nearly as much as it used to, but I do try to use the one with more links usually, rather again, because links are kind of more important than just a number that a tool is giving you. But I'll look at these and tell you which one I would do. So 63, 53, 21, 11. Yeah, definitely the one with more links. And these numbers are higher, but there's less links. And again, I don't worry a ton about this anymore, like which version I use, but in this case, yes, I would probably set it up this way without the www. Okay, because it has more links. And again, this is an example of imperfection in tools. I mean, how are you going to tell me that now because they're treating this as two different websites, right? Two different locations. How are you going to tell me that a site with 2 links has more trust than a site with 53 links or 53 referring domains? So let's see. So one for support page, one with a URL. Again, this is why it's imperfect. So we saw that data. Let's go to the other version. So 53 referring domains. How are you going to tell me that first version has more trust than this version? I mean, that makes no sense. So again, that's just an example of these. These tools are imperfect, and you got to look at the whole picture. You got to look at the whole picture. Just think of these as two different websites. Okay, like if this version was one website and the other version was another one, and it showed those numbers, just logically, which one has more power? Like one with 2 links or one with 53 links, 53 referring domains, where the anchored text is natural. The links are from like sites that would actually link here, so they're natural links. I mean, which one's more powerful? It's kind of obvious. So that's why, again, you can just use these numbers as a starting place and kind of as like a filter, so to speak. And then from there, you can look at, and this is where you guys can really get good deals on domains. This is why I usually don't pay that much for PBNs, because I understand that and I roll with that. If a site like this has, a trust flow of 15, most people just base it off that number, 15. They'll say, well, I'm not paying more than $70 for a trust flow of 15. Well, look at the rest of the data. I mean, you got all natural links, you got a natural anchor text portfolio. You got relevant links that are relevant to what this site used to be about. I'm just assuming all this. Well, this is just one number. You got all this other data to play with, so use that to your advantage, and you can really find good deals on PBNs. All right. It drives me crazy how people be like, oh, I got 10 links and they're all TF30 plus. All right, well, great. This other version we just saw is a trust flow of 26, but it only has 2 links to it. That's not going to. If it wasn't for the other version of this site, the other links there, if this was the only thing showing up, that's not a 20. That's not the same power as what we just saw, which is a lower trust flow. It's just not. You think it's safe to use network share PBNs to link directly to the money site as long as you are not creating footprints? Over the weekend, I was ranked on the first page for all keywords. I was awesome, Elizabeth. That's great. You've made a lot of progress. I have a client who wants to rank for water damage locally, just rebrand himself after being in business for 30 years. New brand name is BigDogRest.com. Old brand name was on the SpotRest.com. His new site, Big Dog Rest, redirects to on the SpotRest.com. He built the site himself on Weebly. I want to convert to WordPress. What do I have to be aware of to make sure that all the redirects are set up and cleaned up in conjunction with converting to WordPress, and just in general? Just the pages you create on WordPress, just make sure the old pages are redirecting to the new pages, and just be aware of optimization. So, if you had an old page that was site1.com/ and I know that this is not fitting exactly. It was like water damage Nashville, right? If your new site has, for some reason, say you abbreviated it, you just had like WDN. Well, this is a completely different optimization. Here you have, keyword in the URL. Here it's just an abbreviation. There's no keywords in there. So realize if you do something like that, where you're creating pages that are different, like the URLs are different, you're going to have different rankings. It's going to have a different effect. So keep these URLs as similar as you can, and just redirect same URL to same URL, and you really shouldn't see much of a difference in rankings when you do that. I heard that Google might start tracking the IP address of visitors to a site. Does that mean it would be appropriate to go under a different proxy every time I visit my sites? No, I wouldn't worry about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, I recently noticed that you don't check the historic index on Majestic anymore. Why is that? Again, because I'm usually looking at sites with, higher quality sites, auction domains, and if everything else fits, there's not really any reason to look at the historic. I mean, it usually matches pretty closely. I'm more worried about the links it has now. I think the historic goes back, what? How long does it go back? It probably tells you. Oh, in the last 90 days. Again, it usually for me, like when I have a site, if the anchor text is natural, the links are natural, I'm just not worried about historic. And again, this is just a one tool's gauge, okay? And also these tools drop and pick up links randomly sometimes, where it could just be that going on. So again, I'm more worried about fresh. If I have a decent number here, that's just a starting point. And then from there, I'm going to look at the anchor text breakdown, sometimes the links, depending what the anchor text looks like. And it all comes together. I mean, you can just tell, by looking at the whole picture, if it's something that is powerful or not, or how powerful it is. So, I mean, the fresh index is just showing the most recent number for this. If there's something fishy going on with difference between fresh index and historic index, you can usually see that in the anchor text or in the type of links they're giving. Okay. I think a lot of people who may have problem with the big differences here are probably dealing with sites that aren't as natural, that have links that aren't as natural. Because I've never had an issue with that, and that's why I use mainly fresh now. I have a PBN that has TrustFlow 19, CF12, and 24 IP, and the main point to it has been 3 weeks, and Google still not indexed it. Again, those are just numbers, Stephen. Sometimes it takes longer, so I can't. I mean, I'm just saying I can't determine really quality off just those numbers. I need to see the whole thing. But I've had sites that have taken a month or two. I've had sites that index within a few days. It seems to be totally random. So it doesn't mean it's good or bad, but put up an affiliate site about 6 weeks ago. It isn't showing up in the SERPs for my keywords though, even though it's an EMD. I was trying to rank it in Google.French. How do I figure out what the issue might be? Again, 6 weeks isn't that long. I don't know how competitive the niche is. Just because you have an EMD doesn't mean you're going to rank. For example, if you have loseweight.com, okay, and you're trying to rank for lose weight, you're not going to rank just because you have an EMD. It's going to take a lot of work still with that EMD to rank for lose weight. Obviously, it's probably not going to be that competitive, but you get my point. There's more I'll need to know. I have a physician client which uses a medical website provider to get secure email access to health topic info pages, etc. About 10 pages are unique to the doctor. About 409 pages have the website.com/this and have the doctor name and address in the footer. Fletch suggests I use these to pound more links to it. Is the frequency of doctor name city in the 490 page? No, that should be fine, George. Is making non-relevant blog posts on PBNs makes the page harder to index. For example, the PBN topic is about weight loss, reverse sink or swim, and blog posts about SEO agency. No, it shouldn't make it harder to index. No. How long would it take? I said around 10 months to rank for business brokers. Do you think I should take it longer? I'm also charging $1,800 a month. $2,400, is that enough if it's difficult? I mean, it can probably be done in 10 months in the UK. But again, if you start with long tail and you rank those and they see the movement happening and they're prepared for slow movement, then I think you're going to be fine. You tell them, look, it's moving up. We're ranked for the long tails. This is just the way Google works. I told you that ahead of time, and they should be fine with that. And if they argue it, you can say, okay, go find someone who says they can rank you quicker and have fun destroying all the work I did. That's what's going to happen. So that's just the way it is these days, and people have to, clients have to either be on board or kick rocks because it's not going to happen quickly in most of the cases. I have APB on the Restore from the Wayback Machine. They all have videos on them, and I've sent them through Link Index Pro. However, even after 3.5 weeks, they're not indexed. Any suggestions? Again, I don't know the quality, but it does seem like sites that are built through Wayback Builder take longer to index. Because when you make a post on WordPress, it goes out and pings. So one thing you could do is go to pingomatic.com, and then once you rebuild the site, throw it in here and just kind of check all these and ping it to let them know that you have a site up and you want them to crawl it. Sometimes that can help. But yeah, sometimes the Wayback Machine can take longer than than WordPress. You said that you do not use Sparrow Spank or Gr0G. I've actually been using Bot Nemesis lately. Right. Someone recommended installing a handful of random plugins on my PBNs to avoid a footprint. Do you do that these days? I do it a little bit, Daniel. I'll install some random plugins sometimes on PBNs. I'll just mix it up. But one thing you can do is use Hide My WP, which will just kind of block everything, and I use that a lot. Where is it? Yeah, here it is right here. So if you type it, oh, I meant to do hide, not home. Here it is right here. It's like 25 bucks, and you can put it on as many sites as you want. 23 bucks. So and that will hide everything that you have. Like if you go and analyze a site and try to see what plugins it has, like sites like whatwpthemeisthat.com, you can also show you like what plugins they're using and everything. What it will do is I think it displays like a message like this. I don't know if I think ONG Machine is on WordPress, I forget. But if you have hide my WP installed, it hides all the WordPress files. So that's another option if you're worried about that. Can you take a look at the on page and URL structure for on the spotrest.com with a redirected site from bigdogrest.com? We'll convert from Weebly to WordPress, goes to rank for Folsom water damage first, and then branch out to Roseville water damage, etc. Most of this page contains general info and tips on its industry and its contact information. Would you change some of the pages or create additional inner pages? Well, first of all, you got to clean up that title. That title is about 200 characters long. You want to get that down to maximum 70. I still try to stay under 60 usually. That's probably even more than 200 characters, actually. So you got to fix up that title. He does have some decent links in here, it seems. So what was the question again? Oh, URL structure. But yeah, fix that title. I mean, as far as that's fine. The way he has it set up is fine. I would need to know more about like what he's trying to rank for each page and all that. It seems like he's got like keywords in the URL fine and all that. So, but I would fix up that main title. That's the first place I would start. That title's way too long. Actually, let's look at another page and see if he's doing the same thing. That's all right. That's kind of long, but that's fine. But that's where I would start with him, and to start getting more links, and he'll be fine. I have two money sites on the same shared hosting account. Is this okay as long as I don't use them on the same PBN? Yes. I noticed that Gmail requests your mobile number to create an email to verify that email. For what I'm aware of, we need to have a Gmail email logged on Webmaster Tools. You don't need to put in. A lot of people don't know this. You don't need to put in a mobile number to verify. You can skip that. So when you go when you go sign up for when you go and sign up, this is not mandatory. Neither is this. So I can literally just fill out first name, last name, username, password, birthday, gender. Next step, and you're fine. You're good. You're done. That's it. You can leave this blank, and you can leave this blank. You don't have to put in a mobile number. A lot of people are not aware of that. You said we should build social to our site before using PBN. So if I try to build social to my SEO site before using PBNs, are you saying it would be best to have less social sites and concentrate on the few that I'm working with? Not necessarily. I mean, you can go out and get a bunch built and work on a few of them. Either way, it doesn't matter there. I wouldn't make that a big focus. It's not about being taught on reputation management. Can you briefly give me the best approach to take My thoughts were a mix of the MD social and Web 2.0's from the first page. Yeah. I mean, basically the same thing we teach, Tony, just ranking different properties. A lot of people, their approach used to be to spam kind of like the negative reviews they're trying to push off. But now that just doesn't work as well. Negative SEO got a lot harder. So, yeah, just ranking different properties. Same thing. No problem, Irene. No problem, Sean. Was posts you put on a PBN at different websites, for example, how many different additional posts and links would you allow other people to put in your PBN? I mean, the more risk, Joanne. But at the same time, I've tested this, and I'm using there's certain networks out there that, and I won't give them away because then everyone uses the same ones. But there's certain networks out there that literally I'm ranking sites with where there's 50 other links to other sites on the page, all different niches, and I still rank. So the answer is you can use a lot. But of course, the more you use, the more of a chance you have something happen, right? When building a new money site, if you were able to get the trophy keywords in EMD, would you choose the EMD over something else? In a lot of cases, yeah, I would. It's better to use Google XML sitemaps for video for my YouTube videos on my site, or is it still okay to use the sitemaps created by Yoast and already submitted to Google GFT? What I do is I'll usually use Yoast by itself, or I'll use all-in-one SEO with Google XML sitemaps. I don't worry too much about that. How do you scan over the incoming links to a PBN and tell that they're good links just by looking at domain DIPA? You're so fast. What are you looking at? You're looking at, let's go back to this one here. All right, so juveniledata.com, it has 53 referring domains. What we see here is, first of all, you look at anchor text and you see what I always think is, all right, the brand name's Juvenile Data. They have Juvenile Data a lot in the anchor text, right? So they have a lot of stuff like that. We can actually throw this in Hrefs to make it, they break it down easier, kind of easier to see. Copy this. So the first thing I'm looking at is anchor text, and again, the brand name is Juvenile Data, okay? So what you see here is a lot of stuff around Juvenile Data. They have their brand name kind of a lot in anchor text, and they don't really have stuff that is forced anchor text, okay? So example of forced anchor text would be just an easy example of how to make money online. Money keywords. They don't really have a lot of stuff like that where it's forced, where it's, keywords that would make them money if they rank for them. They have stuff like this, buy now. That's not going to make them money. They're not going to rank for buy now. Stuff like this, that's kind of their brand name with this. They're not going to rank for this. They're not going to rank for this. These are all really natural links. There's their brand name. Again, a lot of natural anchor text that's not forced, okay? The other thing I look at is, so this looks like it was type of software for tracking juvenile data. And I could go confirm that if I look at an archive.org if I wanted to see exactly what type of site it was. So then from anchor text, what you can look at is, do the links match the niche? So is there links from software type sites or directories, and what's the first thing we see before I even wrote that, before I said it, this thing load? Software, okay? Matches, because this, like I said, is probably something that was a software. Here, right here, cleansauce.com, again, software. Download, that's about software, okay? Ivertech, that's about software type stuff, data download. So this is natural, okay? They got links from sites that, again, downloads here, this one here, downloadatlas.com. So they have links that match what their website was about. It's not like links from like Barbie doll sites and just random type links. it's links from stuff that would naturally link to a software, to a real software, like a juvenile tracking or juvenile data tracking software, which is what this site seems to be used to be about. So that's how you determine that a site is quality. You got that natural anchor text. It's a lot of branded. Not a lot of usually in most cases, not a lot of terms that would make them money. And then of course the links would match the niche. Again, this matches. It makes sense for a software site to link to this type of site. It's natural. When we release the 2016 Over the Shoulder series, we're actually going to do that probably in 2017. I want to thank you for ranking my agency site #1 for the most important local keyword. That Over the Shoulder training was exactly awesome, Brendan. That's great. You have a recommended 301 plugin for WordPress that uses when you buy a PBN and build the site out. Like the PBN has over 100 pages and you can't restore it from the Wayback Machine. You can either use, you can still use LinkJuice Keeper to do them all at once, or if you want to do them manually, for any reason, just use simple 301 redirects. Very easy to use. What's considered too many links to a new money site in a span of time? 3, 5, 20 a week. Honestly, that would probably be fine. You're probably not going to build, the way we build links, you're probably not going to build too many links too quick. That's the way I'm going to put it. Is there a preference for SEO purpose to use www or the root? No, not really. Please explain how to do a proper 301 so we don't leave any footprints. I mean, there's only one way to do it. I mean, you can do it from a domain or a hosting platform, but you can just 301. I mean, there's different, of course, steps to do it in different places, but you 301 location 1 to location 2. Is there a way to gauge the number of PBNs you may need to rank a local client by checking the competition? Usually, you know how many PBNs ballpark might be required. I mean, a rough gauge, but it really depends on a lot of things. So, I mean, I can get a ballpark, I know the difference between 10 and 100, but, it could take 10, could take 30 for some sites. It could be between 10 and 30, so there's no way to gauge an exact number, but you can get a somewhat roundabout as you do it more. I went under the hood of my city SEO site, and sure enough, your hunch was 100% accurate. There was a sitemap issue in WordPress that probably explained the index issue. Awesome, Jamari. Yeah, so just give it some time. If it's not indexed properly already, it'll end up indexing properly whenever you fix that issue. Yeah, usually when you do a search for a site and inner pages are showing up, but not the home page, that's almost always a sitemap issue. All right, so we got one last screenshot and we'll get rolling. I got to get my son to swim. I think it's 95 here today, so we got a warm day for swimming. So how long is the longest that you would wait for Google to crawl your PBN before you load it into Search Console or for Google to index it or check for bounties? Again, I kind of do it differently where I load up PBNs ahead of time. So I have, for example, right now I have, I don't know, a whole bunch of PBNs that are ready to use that have passed the penalty check. But at the same time, I'm loading up more that, I put the penalty check on them, I get it ready, and then I just check them over time. But I'm not worried if they don't pass in a week because I already have ones, I have 100, 200 lined up that are ready to go that had passed. So I have a process where the penalty check, now that the penalty check takes longer, it doesn't affect me because I have sites in place that have passed that are ready to go. I kind of keep cycling through. So for me, I just wait. If it takes a month, it doesn't affect me because once it passes, I'll use it. If it doesn't pass, I just won't use it, and I still have other ones ready to go. So it just depends on on how long you want to wait and all that. You know what I mean? If you need to use it now, you can just put it in Google Webmaster Tools right away and just check it right away if you can't wait. And a lot of people may be in that situation. I have a customer that we are about to close. They're really big plumbing, HVAC, and home services. Here's the thing. I've checked their anchors on Ahrefs, and most of them are branded. They're ranking number 7 for HVAC city in the homepage. The thing is that I want to create subpages for city and services. Would you optimize the homepage only for brand, try to re-rank the HVAC city keyword in the proper subpage? Or would you create the subpage but also optimize the homepage for that keyword to rank them faster? Yes, what I would do, Richard, is I would start hitting the homepage with more generic niche type keywords, okay? So what I mean by that, if you got like you got like Greg's, you know, HVAC.com. Actually, no, it depends on it. Now, I kind of went over this in the webinar with Cotton Reverse Sync or Swim. If they have a keyword in the domain, that's going to help tremendously because you have the keyword in the domain, then also the branded links could have, HVAC in it, which helps theme the whole site. Having the keyword in the domain, then also in the anchor text, like for example, if he had a lot of anchor text like this, that's branded anchor text because that's the name of the company, but it also gives you a lot of power for HVAC across the whole site, right? So you're getting the power for HVAC in your domain name plus in your anchor text. So another case where it could be, just have gregsbrand.com. Now in this case, this is a lot different. If we have this case where you have gregsbrand.com, we have no keyword in the domain, then we've put on a bunch of branded anchor text here. Well, there's no keyword in the branded anchor text here, so you're not getting all that power, all that theming power. So that's why I always tell people, this is kind of why I mentioned the 301 thing with, creating brand name plus brand name SEO, and we're doing the redirect. A lot of people misunderstood that. But this is the power of it. People say, well, I got a whole lot of branded anchor text. Well, there's different levels of branded anchor text. This branded anchor text is a lot more powerful than this branded anchor text because this branded anchor text has your keyword in it. This is branded anchor text still, but you're getting a lot of power for the keyword. This is branded anchor text where you're not getting a lot of power for the keyword because it's not there. So there's different levels of, there's different interpretations of branded anchor text. If he has keywords in his brand, within his branded anchor text, he's already doing a lot of the work there. But if it's set up like this, what I would do is start hitting it with stuff like HVAC, like general keyword anchor text. Like whatever he's trying to rank for, like maybe plumbing. He's trying to rank for like plumbing, plumber, do stuff like plumbing services. That way, when you start hitting this site with these anchors, it's going to brand that whole site for it, okay? So let's actually stick with plumbing here. Find a plumber, plumbing services, local plumbers, stuff like that. Once I hit this site right here, gregsbrand.com, with these three anchors, it's branding it for plumbing type stuff, okay? And the more you do that, the more powerful you're going to get. So if I have an inner URL, something like Minnesota Plumbers, and I hit the home page with these right here, that's going to create any inner page you create on plumbers now is going to immediately rank better than it would have before, okay? So what I always tell people, if you're doing a site where you're doing like, you're doing all 50 states or something like that, don't worry about hitting the inner pages, right away. Start hitting your home page, power up your site, theme it for plumber-related stuff, and then when you throw up these 50 inner pages, or when they start ranking or whatever the case, they're going to start out much higher and require each 50 of the URLs are going to require much less work. Whereas if you try to hit those 50 inner URLs individually, it's going to take you a whole lot longer because you're only theming those each individual pages. Okay, if you hit this first with general type stuff, then it's going to give you a big head start on all 50 inner URLs. And that's why this can be so powerful, because you can create that branded anchor text and have your keyword in the domain. Then when you create those inner URLs, you're going to be, you're way ahead of the game. So that's kind of the importance of having keyword in domain sometimes and what it can do for you, because not only do you have the keyword in the domain, which really powers you, but you can also create branded anchor text where you still have the keyword in there, and that's just really powerful. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, my idea of using the subpage is because it's going to be really targeted by server city, whereas the home page is just the brand, so I don't think it will convert as well. Yeah, I mean, whatever makes sense for conversion would probably be best there, Richard. How do you use expired domains as PBNs? Do you like to rebuild them, or can you use them as an unrelated use, like using expired real estate site pair up website? So I do both, Brian. What I've been doing a lot more lately is theming PBNs by title, like title of the site. So, for example, the site used to be about like some type of organization, like government organization. Okay, so let's say it was a government organization. The site was the society. Now this site is themed around um, government and society based off the links, but you can still get power off creating the title around keywords. All right. Now, when you do this, you obviously can't target like a whole bunch of sites. So there's all different projects I use PBNs for. Like some projects in this type of case, if I'm doing something like this, it creates more relevance, but at the same time, then I'm not usually going to put there's a limited amount of money sites that I can put on here unless they're in the same niche. Well, I could, but they just wouldn't be related as far as keywords go. So I always mix it up. Like sometimes I'll do this where, for example, if I'm going after a V2 SIGs review, I might do like, the V2 SIGs HQ, then I'll link out to my V2 site, right? And then I'm getting a link from a site that has V2 SIGs in the title, and that's kind of creates relevance for you. Whereas other cases, I might create the title just as, I'll just kind of rebrand it. Title is the society, and I'll just put a whole bunch of money sites on here. Not a whole bunch usually, but multiple. But I always mix it up where I have some that are relevant, some that are not, some that are relevant by title, some that are relevant in no way possible, some that are relevant by domain. So if I'm trying to rank for um, plumbers, and I get a link from, I find a PBN that's like plumbing directory, then I link to my plumber site. And of course, you got the keyword in the domain, which is the best part of reverse swim. You can put keyword in title, plumbing directory. Then that when you have high relevance. This one right here, you don't really have that much relevance, but you got the power. The other version I did before that, you got somewhat relevance. You just had the title. So I always just kind of mix it up, and I do different stuff for different sites, and that's just the way I approach it. All right, guys. So it's 10 after now. I'm going to wrap this one up. That was the end of the questions by yeah, that was the last of the questions there. Awesome. All right, and that Richard said that makes a lot of sense. So good. Awesome. Good. All right, cool. All right, guys, that's the end of this one here. Hope you guys learned a lot today. Seems like this is a good one for you guys. Again, thanks for coming out and asking questions, and I'll see you all on the next one.